What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting edition of the Low Budget Show with Damon Millard. I'm Damon Millard. You joined us for a good one. On today's show, we have comedian, actor, writer, improver, Tom Clark. Tom Clark will be here, that's right. I'll break down my upcoming medical procedure, and we'll take a look back at my first year comedy notebook. Doesn't that sound exciting? All of that on today's show. Let's get right into it. Sorry for the delay. You wouldn't believe it, but there's a lot that goes into the making of this thing. I had like 12 angry people messaging me and stuff. My 12 hardcore fans. You know who else had 12 fans? That's right. I mean, man, it does take a lot to put this together, especially by myself. You wouldn't believe how hard it is just getting the camera set up and in focus. Maybe I should get an intern. Wouldn't that be cool? If you're looking for college credit, send me an email. That's right, get a hold of me. It's Damon at DamonMillard.com, Damon at DamonMillard.com. Send me a message. You couple credits short? Come on board. We'll have you on the Low Budget Show. You can focus this camera every once in a while. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun, everybody? Okay, but no, in seriousness, man. I've been depressed. I've been depressed for a very long time. Nothing helps, man. Nothing helps. You know, I'm not performing. I have nothing on the books. 0 shows. Absolutely 0. And, well, actually, let me tell you this. You guys know about Punching Bag Comedy, one of Brooklyn's finest comedy shows. We're starting back up. We're scheduled to do a show on November 14th at our brand new venue. But the way it's looking, I don't know, man. It's 50-50 that it's even going to happen. It's indoors, and that's making me a little nervous, although this venue's huge. I mean, it's very spacious, and we're going to do all the safety precautions. You'll have to get your temperature done at the door. Seating will be very spaced out. Masks will be required. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. So as far as that goes, I mean, it's going to be pretty safe, but I mean, I don't know if I want to risk it. I've got some great comics on the show. I could announce the lineup now, but I think with the chance of canceling it, what's the point? There's a pandemic. Did you know that? My job's all but dried up and gone away. So it's just made it impossible for me to enjoy life or want to do anything. I've watched a lot of Mike Tyson's Mysteries. So anyway, another thing I'm depressed about is my health. I didn't get into this last time, but I have something going on. I don't know exactly what. This might be a little personal, but I've been peeing blood, kind of. No, I have. Not kind of. I have been peeing blood. I don't know. Do you think my dick could still be growing and it's from that? No. Come on, guys. That's ridiculous to think. Or is it? I went in and I had the prostate exam. I talked about that last time. I don't know. I kind of liked it. No, I'm just kidding. It was awful. But you know what's going to be worse than that? My upcoming exam. The day after Election Day, I have to go back to the doctors and have a cystoscopy. I have to have a cystoscopy. Am I in focus here? We need to get an intern. Yeah, I have to go to the doctors the day after Election Day to get a cystoscopy or cystoscopy. I don't know even how to say it. But it's a camera bladder test. I looked all this up on like Google. It's not good, man. They're gonna put a thin telescope in my dick. Yeah, it's not good. I probably shouldn't have done this, but I was reading some articles online, and I guess it's very painful. Here's a little bit of video that I found of what it's like. Yeah, I'm actually really nervous about that. I should just do it, right? In case there's something really wrong. Oh man, I don't want to do it, but I know I should do it. If there's something wrong and I can get it taken care of now, I should, right? I'd hate to find out down the road that I could have done something about it at the beginning and instead of dying. Let's see, here's what we got. I guess they're going to put some lube at the entrance of the urethra. And in the article I found, they called it the wee tube. They're going to lube up my wee tube. Then they're going to put a little camera in there. Yeah, and then they're going to have a little look around. In Damon's penis, take a look in Damon's penis. I hope I don't have anything. And this article says you're awake. I don't know if I want to be awake. It could cause bleeding, which is dumb, because that's the reason I'm going. It could cause stricture, which is scarring of the urethra. The inside of my dick is going to look like Freddy Krueger. Oh, man. Anyway, I'm not looking forward to that. Anybody else out there had a cystoscopy? Send me an email. It's Damon at damonmillard.com, Damon at damonmillard.com. If you had a cystoscopy or know even how to say it, send me an email and let me know. So yeah, just in general depressed and really procrastinating on getting the show done. And hold on, I have to plug this computer in. Can you reach? No. Fuck. Fuck. Don't fuck with me. Come on. Oh shit. Come on, gotta get that plugged in. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Whew. That would have knocked me back for another 30 days. This fucker's blinking now. Let's do this. What a mess. What a mess we got going on here. Okay, what did we talk about? Tom Clark's coming up. We had a good interview.
I'm going to be a big star.
We talked about cystoscopy. Email me. Looking for an intern who wants a couple college credits. I actually went to film school. I know stuff. Can you believe I went to film school and all I've done with it is made the low budget show? Hilarious. Today is actually November 1st. The Halloween special, the low budget show, is still coming up. That'll be sometime in November. Okay, it's time to take a look back in... this is either my first or second comedy notebook. It doesn't matter because when I first started doing comedy, I was writing. I barely write now. So either way, even if this is my second comedy notebook, these are some very early jokes. Let's dig in and see what kind of magic I was doing. I don't know if you can see that, but I actually wrote crowd work stuff. I was writing crowd work. I'm a beast, man. I like your sweater, sir. What? Decided you didn't want to fuck no girls tonight? Oh, boy. Ooh, let's see. Let's get into one. Oh, wow. I've been depressed for a long time. Oh, shit. Oh, hi. You're on the low budget show.
Oh, I am?
Yeah, you want to say hi?
Is it on speaker?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, hi.
I was preparing for a show in my hometown where I go, it feels good to be back home. I grew up only 3 blocks from here, on Mary Street. Can you believe I lost my virginity just 3 blocks away? But don't worry, he's in prison now. Not bad. Oh, here's one. It's called depression. See, I told you I've been depressed for a very long time. I'm very, very depressed. I was in the bathroom the other day and I grab a razor to shave my balls. It's a pretty good start. But that turns into a suicide attempt. My mom starts banging on the bathroom door. Damon, what's going on in there? And I'm like, Mom, I don't think I can do it anymore. I don't want to live. I'm going to kill myself. And she goes, well, hurry up. You're taking forever. Wow. If I wasn't depressed before, I'm depressed now. All right, I'll turn this into a show. Fuck it.
This part of the show is brought to you by non-menthol Newports. Stop being a little bitch, just smoke.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Low Budget Show. And joining me now is comedian and very funny man, Tom Clark. Tom, hey, what's up?
What's up?
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We're going coast to coast today.
that's right. New York to LA. What do you got, a green screen behind you?
No, it's a real outdoors.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's a real.
That's a
a
real
real-
bike history. I haven't seen you in a while. What you been up to?
Oh, just pandemicking it up.
Yeah.
I just started doing a little bit of stand-up live. So my wife and I do. My wife's a comedian, Steph Clark, and we've been doing a show at a brewery, socially distanced, safe, socially distanced, and about 50, 60 people come out, and it's a fun show. So we do it once a month. So that's been our first show, and we've done some Zoom stuff and that sort of thing. But I'm really liking the live stuff. It's good to be back doing that.
What were you like as like a kid? Were you always like a goofball? Is that how you got in, or what?
I was pretty quiet, actually. I mean, I was kind of silly, I guess, a little bit as a little kid. In high school, I turned like totally quiet, didn't talk to many people. So people were kind of nervous about me. They were kind of like, what's going to happen to this guy? He's going to become like a murderer or something. So, but I was always funny with my close friends. You know, it was one of those things like around big crowds, I kind of got deer in headlights. But with my friends, I was always pretty funny. So yeah, I kind of evolved over time. I started in comedy sports in Milwaukee, and I do that out here, which I enjoy. But definitely, I was in the Dead Alewives from '97 to about 2001. So it was right after Rob Schraub and Dan Harmon left, and I just always that was the Dead Alewives when I first saw them back in '94, '95. I was like, oh my God, this is like comedy. Like, this is a comedy I love. It's silly. It's ridiculous. It's completely spontaneous. So that was definitely a comedy highlight for me, was being in the Dead Alewives.
Does that improv, does that like influence the way you write stand up? If I can say, you have like a lot of, it's very playful, and you'll dip into characters pretty seamlessly. So does it like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely improv's helped me a lot. I think, you know, I do like to interact with the crowd and play with the crowd and work off treating them almost as like a scene partner. So yeah, I definitely, improv has definitely helped me tremendously to stop thinking and to trust my instincts. I've been doing stand-up and improv for about the same amount of time, about 25 years each.
Ran out of gas. Anything stick out in your mind, like from the early days, like a story or something like that?
I'm trying to think an early days story. I'm gonna need that picture of the cat. I was performing in the basement of this place. I think it's called the Corner Pocket.
I've played that.
Oh yeah, all the big names do. And I was on stage, and there was a big commotion. Like, this guy came down the stairs, and everyone was gathered around, and I'm like, you know, what's going on? Why is everyone not paying attention to me? And I'm like, what's going on back there? And the guy's like, Phil caught a perch. I'm like, caught a perch? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, bring it up here. And he brings the perch up on stage. And it was a good-sized perch. I was like, all right, that was worth interrupting the show. It's a good-looking perch. Yeah. But that's only in South Milwaukee does that happen. That sets up the Wisconsin comedy experience.
Isn't it weird how like people think stand-up's show business, but if they were to actually see the early makings of it,
oh yeah,
how far removed it is?
Oh my God! I remember one time I performed at a sushi place in Long Beach. this woman was like, "Oh, you're the comedian? I'll go get the stage." And she comes out with literally a milk crate, like what we used to have in grade school, like a milk crate. And then she handed me this Britney Spears like microphone with like the little speaker you carry in your hand.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the mic. And I'm like, okay. So we literally did the show with on a milk crate and a Britney Spears, my first microphone.
Oh, man.
So
listen to this one. If you were to go out of Milwaukee and start going south towards Mukwonago, if you got right off that exit, right off the highway, there's an Italian restaurant there. They had this bar to the side, and it was a nice, it was a pretty nice family restaurant on the inside.
Right.
This like little lounge where if you were to show up and there was a wait, you could wait in this bar area before you got called to your table. We're doing the show. The microphone is set up to the PA system of the entire restaurant so that it's like, playing through the ceiling speakers. But anytime anybody's table opened up, they would get on the microphone at the host station. Basically that would drop the comedy's volume. And so you'd be in the middle of your joke and you're like, okay, so Smith, party of 4, your table's ready. Smith,
Did you ever perform at the Empire Room over on Silver Spring and Highway 100?
No, that must have been
It turned into Jokers.
Oh.
It became Jokers.
I played Jokers.
Yeah. But they used to have a revolving stage. And I think it was for like the strippers or whatever would, once the stage revolved, they'd have a band and then the stage would revolve and they'd have the dancers. So in the middle of the show, this comedian was performing, the stage just started to revolve. he's like from the stage, like, Tom, where am I going? Tom, where am I going? And he just goes all the way around and he's still telling the joke the whole time. And then he ends up back. And finally, I kind of would watch that rotisserie comedy.
There's some hell stuff out there. And
oh, Jokers was ridiculous. Jokers, the guy who booked Jokers at first used to live at the comedy condo. I think he used to book the Houston Laugh Stop. So it's like he's a pretty well-known name, but then he kind of fell on hard time. And he would live at the condo, and the comedians would be like, "What are you doing? Like, I'm supposed to be living here. Like, you're living on the couch." And he just wouldn't leave, and the comedian would have to give him rides to the club, and it's like, who's booking the club? Like, how am I to take care of you? Yeah, it's there's definitely some characters you meet.
I would hear the horror stories of the comedy cafes condo.
Oh yeah, I had talked to Pete Holmes, and he said how he would drink a fifth of vodka before he went to bed just so he could fall asleep because it was so shitty. Yeah, it was awful. There was they used to say there was 5 couches in the living room, and it was just like a dilapidated place. There was another place called Club Comedy, which broke away from Comedy Cafe. This is in the early 90s because the valet driver at Comedy Cafe was having an affair with the wife of the manager of the cafe. So they broke up. She opened up a club downtown with the valet guy. And when that club fell on hard times, they started, the MC for that week told me that they're like, yeah, they couldn't pay me. So they said, we can give you one of the speakers. And they gave him a speaker. It's like, that's a bad sign when they're giving away equipment.
Yeah.
Wasn't it your birthday?
Yeah, I just had a birthday.
Okay.
I'm still doing those. Well, when's your birthday?
July 7th.
So you had one in the middle of quarantine. How was that?
Pretty uneventful. We did a Zoom comedy show in hopes people would pay to watch me perform on Zoom. It didn't work out. That's the thing is hell gigs are now what comedians are striving for. People will honk at us in their car. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you do any of those drive-ins?
No, we have a brewery we work with that we were working with before quarantine, and they have this huge parking lot. So we've been doing 2 to a table, spread out 6 feet apart. And it works out pretty good. We get about 50 or 60 people, and it's worked out good. That's our only show, though.
It's a
How about you?
I mean, I did some live shit. I mean, I did a run.
You were in Milwaukee.
I did a run through Wisconsin, and then I was in Rhode Island, and but then as soon as I got back to New York, I was watching the news, and it said that there was a big old spike in Wisconsin. And I was like, oh no, what did I do?
I was just in Wisconsin last week to visit my dad, and it wasn't bad. Everyone was wearing a mask, but I mean, I didn't. But I mean, people are still going out to bars. It's just nobody cares.
It's just a weird world right now.
Yeah, very weird. How was rounding third?
It was almost didn't happen. Then almost nobody showed up to that one.
I thought about doing a show. I usually do a show rounding third. I didn't want to be the super spreader event that and after this comedy show, 1,000 people got coronavirus.
Yeah, I know. It would look bad, but I actually think I could use the press, to be honest with you. I mean, it'd be my only TV credit.
Right. The super spreader tour.
I don't know. It's in New York. There's a whole thing going on. Okay, so here's what's going on. They're doing like shows in the park. Stand Up New York, one of the bigger comedy clubs here, does a whole park show. And so, like, I mean, it's all we got. So, I mean, I guess if someone told you that you could do a show in the park like a year or 2 years ago, right? You would have turned this down in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? You'd have been like, no, thank you.
Right. They'll be far away from you. Yeah.
Yeah. People will be like really far away. It'll be in a park. People will be playing in the background. It'll be very confusing and loud. You would have said no way. But now you're like, how do I get on there? Who books that?
Right.
How you stay insane?
I've been smoking cigars. That's my escape. Is I smoke cigars now. I just sit out. We have a little patio back here in where we live. We bought a place in Agora Hills, which is just outside of LA. So it's a little more suburban. It's a little more quiet, and I'll just smoke cigars out here and relax and listen to music or whatever. Just chill out. We'll have friends over, but I mean, that saved me because I was like, I would have gone crazy. I think if I would have. We're still living in an apartment in LA or something, I would have lost it.
For sure. I live in a studio apartment, so it's pretty crazy here. There was like 6 months where me and my girlfriend didn't leave the same room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she went to get a COVID test one time, and she came back, and she was like, hey, do you realize that was the first time we've not been in the same room for 6 months? And I was like,
wow.
Man, I was like, oh, is that why I was happy for a little bit? Yeah. I'm pretty depressed,
Yeah.
At first I was like pretty excited about writing and stuff. I was like, cool, a lot of like time to write. But then I realized if I'm not in the right mind space, I'm not productive anyway, so I could have all the time in the world. If I'm not here, nothing's going to come out.
Yeah. I thought I'd write more. I think I've gotten more organized. Like I've gone through like old videos, or like I just had a bunch of my old VHS. That's how old I am. That's how long I've been doing stand-up. I have VHS copies of my stand-up that I just digitized and stuff, and been going through that. Oof. Nights at the Safe House from 1995. Brutal.
Yeah, what's that like, watching some of those very early sets? Are you embarrassed of yourself?
It's kind of like, how did you keep going? I think it's like ignorance is bliss, right? It's like if you don't know how bad you are, you keep going. If I were to meet myself 25 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, you should stop. This isn't good. Even if I knew the future, I'd be like, no, stop here. But I think the other thing was just my confidence. Not that I was cocky on stage, but just like I committed to everything I did on stage. And even if it wasn't going well, I didn't know any better that it wasn't going well. So I was like, this is going pretty well. Like, I'm talking. I'm not stumbling over my words. So that's a good thing. I looked at my Montreal comedy audition, and it was the year I got it. And I was like, ooh, like I took a lot, like some of these jokes I did, I would never do at a club or anything. And I just like did these sort of very weird, eclectic type bits. And And that's what got me in. That's what you kind of miss is like that going out on a limb and taking a risk and seeing it pay off. It's one of those things. It's hard to watch, but it's interesting to watch, and it's funny to go back 25 years and be like, holy shit, I kept doing this even though I wasn't that good when I started. Like I just kept, and I really think that's the key to comedy, right? Is you gotta, if you think this is how I'm going to be a big star, you're going to crash and burn pretty quick. But if you just are doing comedy because it's fun and it's something you always wanted to do, that helps. And I think especially in the first 5 years when you're really struggling, because if you don't have a sense of fun, it's going to be tough to get anywhere. It's a brutal climb up the ladder.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, because there was a time, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 years in, when I started to have some confidence that I could do good. I'd say within the first 3 years, I never knew if I was going to do good or not. Like, it was a hit or miss any night. So right around 3 years, I was pretty confident that I could get a win out of it, and then I started worrying more about getting booked and the next step and all these things. It was definitely a chunk in my journey where I wasn't happy or having fun at all.
Yeah, well, I got to give you credit because you single-handedly kept the Milwaukee scene alive because I left Milwaukee in 2001, and at that time they had the Safe House, I think, and I think a lot of the clubs had closed, and then you started your comedy, what was it?
Cast the Killers.
COK. Yeah, Cast the Killers. And you were doing shows on the east side and just these random things. And can I remember, like, I'd go back in, like, 03, maybe 04, and there was nothing. There was nothing going on. And then you started doing your shows. And, I mean, now Milwaukee's kind of booming with comedy, but at that time, it was probably the lowest point. And you were, like...
Yeah, there was nothing. It was, the whole thing was, like, I just wanted a place to perform, when there's nowhere to perform, you build it. You know what I mean? What was it like when you first took off out of Milwaukee and went to LA? What was that like?
It was tough. My first 6 months was really tough. I was hosting a friend had a bringer show at a sushi place at a place called Amagi's in the Gower Gulch. So it's like big names would go up there, like Chelsea Handler would show up, Bill Burr would show up, Patton Oswalt. Like, they were big names, but this was a bringer show. So they relied a ton on, like, these people to bring people. And I would always host, which was the bullet. Like, nobody would be in the room. It was, like, in the back room of the sushi place. So I'd be performing to just the guy who books the room. And then people would wander in, and then I'd start bringing up the acts. So it was rough. I mean, I was literally going back to ground zero of performing. So it was frustrating. I wasn't sure if I had made the right move. And then about 6 months in, I did the Laugh Riots competition for Comedy Central. And then I ended up winning my round, and then I finished second overall. And I competed against like Lavelle Crawford and I'm trying to think who else. Lavelle was a big name. Lavelle would have won it, but he did like 20 minutes. And he was supposed to do 6 minutes. So I finished in second. He finished in third. But yeah, that really helped. So once I got that, it gave me a little confidence. And then I started to get booked a little bit more. But that first 6 or 7 months, I was like, holy man, what am I going to do? Like, I was doing temp work after a while. I was like, I just need something to break up my day because I can't just sit here all day.
When I first came to New York, I started getting, have you ever heard of the term the yips?
Yeah, it's sort of like nervous or like...
Yeah, it's like I lost all confidence that I knew how to do comedy at all. And I would be like overwhelmed with panic and stuff. I was on stage every single night. And then I got to New York and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to make people laugh. And I was like, it really fucked with me hard.
How'd you get over it?
Kept showing up, man. Just
yeah. Did you figure out what was wrong, or did you figure out what was happening? Or
I'm manic, dude. I'll go from I'm the greatest person to ever touch a microphone to why am I alive? Why they should hang me in the public square. You know what I mean? I should be murdered in front of people just forever.
Even that's cocky. Hang you in the public square like everyone wants to see you in the square. Come on. I think it all goes back to having fun. Like you got to remember why you initially did this. And I think I've also realized is that none of the people that are famous, I've met a lot of people that are famous, and they're never happy. The idea of what they're doing is exciting, but I think the thing I've realized the last 5 or 6 years is just doing things on my own. And like I released my special a few years ago independently. And
I bought that.
I just released. Yeah. Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah. Now it's free. So just putting that out there is all.
I had to recoup some of the costs. Your $7 went to a worthy cause. Once I realized I was in control of things and not somebody else, I think that really helped me a lot, is that it's not up to my agent. It's not up to a booker. It's up to me. And it's like, I have the product, and if I create a good product, people will want it. That's helped me in the last 5 or 6 years, where I don't get down about, oh, I didn't get that booking, or that person hasn't called me. I think it's almost like being the hot girl at the club is like, people are more interested in you when you're disinterested in them. So
sitting around waiting for someone to come knock on your doors, like it's a terrible feeling. Like a lot of people I've started with, I'm now seeing all over the place. I'm seeing on some like legit stuff. I'm like, how come I didn't get asked to dance? Like, and
when you're doing your own thing too, it's like you don't have time to pay attention to that stuff, right? It's like when you're busy creating, then all of a sudden you get an email. It's almost annoying. It's like, oh, who's this? Oh, you want me to do your show? Yeah, sure, fine. It's like, that's sort of the thing. And I've definitely still go through that, where I'm checking the email and refreshing. And
sure.
When's this email coming? Even today I was supposed to, my agent said, oh, I got you this casino for November. And then it's like, oh, wait, that's for my other client. And I'm like, well, what the hell? So he's like, I think it's going to be next month, but I don't know. So I'm like, just trying to like make those travel plans or whatever. So it's like, but I can't pay attention to that. So I'm like, oh, I'll focus on, I got Damon's show, and I'll do it, and I'll do that. And, that's what's important, not whatever. This booking will happen or it won't happen. Who cares? I have no control over it.
Where can my viewers find you?
You can check me out on my website at tomclark.com. Also Instagram and Twitter at Tom Clark Comedy. My special is called Outraged on Amazon. You can listen to it on Spotify and on Pandora, all that stuff. Tell XM to start playing it. That's everything.
All right, great. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Had a good time. I'll see you again real soon. That's the end of the Low Budget Show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. That's it. Goodbye. Beep.